Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The tension between Ukraine and Russia has once again reached an explosive new level as one of the most audacious drone offensives of the entire war has just unfolded in the skies over Moscow. Reports confirm that Ukraine launched an unprecedented swarm of over 370 drones directly into Russian airspace, targeting military command structures, critical infrastructure and strategic locations inside the Russian capital. What happened next was fast, brutal and unlike anything Moscow has seen since the war began. It began in the dead of night as Russian air defense operators picked up the first incoming signals. The swarm was moving at different altitudes and speeds, creating a wave pattern designed to overwhelm radar systems. This was not a few drones, this was a strategic operation, the largest single drone strike attempt launched by Ukraine since the start of the conflict. Moscow's early warning systems began flashing across multiple defense sectors as command centers scrambled to assess the scale of the threat. The drones approached from multiple directions simultaneously. They were not just coming in a straight line, they were coordinated to hit from northeast, south and west, creating maximum confusion across Russia's air defense network. Radar operators reported seeing wave after wave lighting up their screens. They realized this was not a typical strike, this was an attempt to push Moscow's defenses to their absolute limit. Russian fighter jets were scrambled almost immediately. Su-35s and MiG-31 interceptors took to the air. Their mission was to intercept the incoming drones before they reached the city limits. Meanwhile, S-400 air defense systems and Panzer S-1 units locked onto multiple targets, launching interceptor missiles at rapid intervals. The sound of explosions echoed across the night sky as the first waves of drones were struck down over the outskirts of Moscow. But the sheer number of drones made it almost impossible to intercept them all. Some slipped through the defense network and continued toward key military zones and energy installations inside the capital. Air raid sirens wailed across Moscow as civilians rushed to shelters. The sky was filled with tracer rounds, anti-aircraft fire and explosions lighting up the night, turning the city into what witnesses described as a battlefield in the sky. According to initial reports, a significant number of drones were neutralized before they could strike their targets, but several managed to hit critical infrastructure, causing multiple fires and localized power disruptions. Russian emergency services rushed to several districts to contain the damage, while defense units remained on full alert, ready for additional waves. The attack forced the closure of major airports across Moscow for hours, grounding civilian flights and diverting international traffic. Intelligence sources indicate that the drone models used in the attack were a mix of long-range and short-range systems designed to work in coordination. Smaller drones flew low to avoid radar detection, while larger drones carried heavier payloads and targeted key military installations. The strike was carefully timed to hit during the night when visibility was low and civilian air traffic was minimal. This made detection harder and response more complicated. The Kremlin held emergency security meetings within minutes of the attack. Senior military officials and security chiefs gathered to assess damage and coordinate a nationwide response. State media described the incident as one of the most serious threats to the capital since the beginning of the war. The scale of the operation shocked Russian defense planners who had prepared for drone strikes, but not at this level of intensity and coordination. Ukrainian sources have not officially confirmed responsibility, but multiple Western intelligence officials have stated that this operation fits the pattern of previous Ukrainian long-range drone attacks deep into Russian territory, except this time it was larger, more organized and aimed directly at the political heart of Russia. The attack came at a time when Russian forces were already stretched along multiple fronts in the conflict. Eyewitnesses in Moscow reported hearing dozens of loud explosions across several districts. Windows shook as interceptor missiles collided with drones overhead. Streaks of light filled the sky as air defense units worked non-stop to bring down the swarm. Social media videos captured massive fireballs in the distance as drones were hit mid-air, debris falling across rooftops and streets in several areas of the city. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that the majority of the drones were successfully intercepted, but satellite imagery and local reports showed visible damage in multiple zones, including power substations, fuel depots and communication centers. One of the key impacts of the strike was temporary disruption of command and control networks across parts of the capital, forcing the military to reroute communications through backup channels. Military analysts believe the purpose of the attack was not just to cause physical damage but to send a psychological message to the Kremlin that even the most secure airspace in Russia can be penetrated. The strike exposed weaknesses in the layered defense systems around Moscow, which had been heavily